So it's come that time, we're off again. Finally getting out after having a new baby. Just waiting for my mate to get here. And the old man, we're going off to New Forest to try and find some red deer. How good does it feel to be back in the bush? Tell you what, guys, having a new baby and full-time attention on the baby and other kids at home, getting out in the bush and just soaking up the views and the fresh air. Tell you what, even though my legs are burning a bit, it just makes you like recharges all your batteries and makes you feel alive. So just thankful I could get out this weekend and scout out a New Forest. Just trying to get on top of some of these ridges so I can look down on where all these gullies meet down into the middle. And hopefully I can put some cameras out to pick up some animals and get back here in a couple of weeks to see what's moving about. I couldn't actually get to where we're going, and it's a bit of an odd one. It's a public road, but on the gate has private property, no access. So we've taken some photos and we'll send them off to DPI to confirm if we can traverse that road. But I know it's always it's an odd one for hunters to come into. Although it might be our right, you really don't want to put yourself in the wrong situation, especially for a landowner who probably has people, poachers, let's say, doing the wrong thing. Hence why the signs are up. So I guess we'll see what the result of that is. But for today, he's just covering some new ground and seeing what we can see and recharging the batteries. Let's get into it. I've just heard something crash above me. The wind's sort of swirling a bit, so I'm going to try and squeeze up. I didn't run. Try to squeeze up to it and see what I can see, but see this area is really being worked a lot. Whether it's deer or pigs. So much sign on the gam trails. And my scent's going straight that way. I'm going to try and sneak in and stay behind some trees to see if I can get a look at what it was. So I've just been combing along this creek, about halfway up this mountain. We get too high up and can't see into the bottom. So I'm about halfway up this rise, as you can see. I'm just working my way. The wind is a bit swirly right now, so it's a little difficult to hunt, but if I stay up high enough, hopefully that scent doesn't get pulled into the gully. But in the end, it's about covering ground this weekend, so no deer prints yet, no deer scat, we'll keep at it. big print. It's my hand next to it. Looks like we could be heading in the right direction. Hopefully. Saw my first red deer in state forest. Man, that was cool. Saw him from about 400 meters. Dropped the pack and I got into about 300. I still wasn't sure. Actually just on the edge of private property now, there's no fence or anything. But using a Venza, it's a very fine line to see if they're in the forest or not. So they've actually gone down that gully. Down in there. So, and they weren't spooked. Just the does ran off and little Spiky ran after them. So I'm gonna go check out that spot and see if it actually was in the forest. And then I'm just gonna slowly make my way back through that gully and hopefully they've just bedded down somewhere. They didn't run off. They just sort of, he trotted off and the Spiky trotted after him, so hopefully we can get onto him. Man, that was cool. What do you know? As I get closer and closer, it's I had the right suspicion that they were just on private property. Maybe 50 meters. So you do the right thing. I'd love to get a camera on this wallow, but let's see if I can get a tree close enough to at least see some activity. It's just going to be a very hard place to hunt if that's the boundary of the forest. It'd be cool to get some footage of the wallow, but I stand corrected. That looks like the fence to me there. Wallow, well we're in. Deer were just down there. Yes! Oh, how good is that? Oh, man, how awesome is that? Wallow and deer, no rubs, but I'm just going to get the game camera on this tree, hopefully where they're passing right through. And might point up towards that wallow as well. Oh, man, that is freaking awesome. And then we go after these deer. Hopefully they've had enough time to settle down and haven't pushed them on. Man, this is epic. Oh, this is clearly the spot. Fresh black jelly beans. Freaking awesome. So I've given it about 15 minutes. I've set my camera up, had a bite to eat. And now I'm just going to move off in the direction those reds went. Now if they did catch a bit of a whiff of me, which I don't think they did because they sat there for 10 minutes, I don't want to make them feel pressured and keep pushing them, so give them this 15 minutes break. I didn't spook off because they were just trotting, they weren't running. So hopefully given this break, they've settled wherever they are and I will run into them again. Except it looks pretty thick down there. So we'll see how we go. But that's the plan. You can tell there's deer moving through when logs like this are all messed up. I'm just going to keep walking down this gully where they trotted down into. Something I've also had to remind myself, especially after stopping just then, is to slow down. Especially when you don't go on trips that often, you get really eager. And seeing the first red deer in a forest and potentially able to take a shot, but choosing against it, you do get really eager. Now I'm just walking down where they want, and there's prints everywhere. Down this game trail, so I know they've headed this way. But I really got to keep reminding myself to take 2-3 steps. And then stop, look, listen, and then move on again. Because I don't want to push them anymore than I already have, if you could say. I really just want to find them again. So they've had that 15-minute rest, hopefully they're bedded down or they're feeding, and I just want to spot them as I'm coming up. Okay, let's keep at it. So we've just started off on our afternoon hunt. Trying a different area, just trying to scope as much ground as possible. Just working these natives halfway up so we can look down into the gully and what's on the faces. Not much sign about here yet. Hopefully on the way back we run into some. So, just had a shot. I'm pretty sure I missed. We're coming down around some thick stuff. Right down in the bottom, because we hadn't seen any sign up top. We caught a flash of movement above us, about 150 metres. And we were 8 fallow, started running up the hill. Wait, there's a lot of brush here. And one popped its head and neck out behind a big tree. And I had a shot, but it didn't react like I hit it. Pretty disappointing, but we got 30 minutes left of light. So, it was worth taking the shot. And gonna go up and see if we hit something. Hopefully. If not, we're gonna come back here tomorrow. So I ranged it after the shot. It's about 160 metres uphill. Was free hand, no rest. Not that it's an excuse. I guess after this morning and not taking the shot in the red deer, you sort of feel more compelled to take a shot. I really had a neck to aim at when she stepped out from behind the tree and looked like she was going to make a move, and it was almost like the matriarch or whatever you want to call it, one of the older ones. She was the biggest, and as soon as she moved the first time, the other 7 or whatever was with her moved as well. So I decided to take the shot, and smaller target, uphill, freehand. I don't know, maybe now I'm just making excuses because I feel like shit. There was definitely no blood, and she did stand still for about a second after the shot, and then must have got closer and shocked her. Yeah, no real excuse. Anyway, see what tomorrow brings. So we're heading back to where we saw those fallow last night. The wind's a bit difficult to get to where the reds were, so this nice little system we walked through last night, and hopefully those fallow have come back if we haven't pushed them out of the area. Otherwise we'll just sit off a few of these clearings at the bottom this morning and hopefully get onto one, make up for yesterday. So we're just doing a sit and wait now. We've walked back into the area where the fallow were last night. There's plenty of sign in this area, fallow sign that is, and there are lots of scat and a few decent game trails, so they're obviously moving through here. So we're just looking at the faces the sun is shining on, and a deer's going to want to come and warm up after a cold night. So we're just seeing if anything is feeding out or sitting in these sunny spots this morning. But we very well may have pushed that little mob out last night, so yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll stay here for about half hour and then move on again. So we haven't seen much sign this morning. It's not very fresh, but that there is definitely red deer shit. There's some big pellets in that. Starting to shed their coats, their winter coats. This is a good little area, this one.